goofy. We just girlfriends
Hi,
talking.
everyone. Sorry for the delay.
It was me.
We no, we should have done a test run. We are so excited to have our creative friend Cindy Shepard with us.
Yes.
She is a mixed media artist. She teaches. She has had an incredible journey through her career, and we're excited to catch up with her. But before we get started, we're just going to do a reminder that my name is Ann Butler, and this is my creative girlfriend, Lisa Rojas. We own Bella Crafts Publishing.
Yay.
And we do a free magazine 4 times a year. The summer issue just came out a couple of weeks ago. If you haven't signed up, make sure you sign up. We will put links in after. Usually we're doing them during when one of us is doing a project. But when we do an interview, we just kind of relax. We will put in a link for Cindy and everything for you guys.
Yep.
But we are excited to be here and to catch up with Cindy. So, Lisa, do you have anything to say before we get started?
Nope.
I'm just going to say hi to everyone to make sure that this is working. Lisa already did that. We're good. Okay.
Yep.
So, for those of you that don't know, Cindy Shepard is a designer and a teacher. She does mixed media and lots of things, right, Cindy?
That is true. In fact, I call myself an experimental artist because
I love that.
That's cool.
I am. I'm just always doing something new. I think it's a little bit ADHD, to tell you the truth, guys. But I wouldn't have it any other way.
I love that. That is experimental artist. I love that.
Right.
That's cool.
Experimental artist, experimental creative.
Yeah, because, okay, so how long? What was like your first inkling that you wanted this for a career, or did you fall into it? Some of us fall into it.
Yep.
I think that may have been a little bit what happened to me. I actually, I studied gemology. And then I actually opened a jewelry store back in 1999. And so I was doing jewelry, and that's when I started designing some lines of jewelry and working with that. And that was about the time that even I'd never really heard the term mixed media. I had started out, kind of doing assemblage work, or I knew that the things that I wanted to do were like not the things that most of my local arts organizations were doing. Like there was no category for me. So when I heard the term mixed media, it just kind of opened up like, okay, this is all right. Okay, all the stuff that I've hoarded, or all the papers, all the old photos, there's something that I can do with them.
Right.
And, so I started doing that and working and experimenting. And I really I did not study art. I'm all self-taught. But when I say self-taught, it's through guys like you or so many of the other people that I met and were able to follow. And, at first I was buying every book I could because that was the only way you could do it. And then I kind of needed that sort of thing, needed that connection in my own community. So I started a mixed media art group, and that was probably about 2007 or something. So.
Okay. So that's about 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think I've known you for about that long.
Well, when I started that mixed media group was when I first met Suzanne McNeil.
See, and that's how I met you.
Right. And I had just retired from 25 years at American Airlines.
Oh.
And she had asked me if I would join Design Originals part-time to help them with social media. Believe it or not, it was a lot easier back then. And I jinxed myself. So
only on lives, Cindy. Only on lives.
Okay.
Yep. All the time.
So anyway, Suzanne came to my mixed media group. We had a mutual friend, and that was right at the time that she was publishing that first book on Zentangle. You guys remember that?
I
do. I went with her to bring that to the Craft and Hobby Association. Some of my first demos for CHA, and Suzanne really was a mentor, and I got to come to the CHA. That's how I met you guys and so many other fabulous people. And
right.
it was just
I mean,
all
because
so
I
inspiring.
remember you demoing that at the show,
Yes.
and that's when I met you. So
Oh,
I was
wow.
probably with her for about 5 years at CHA, and then Fox Chapel bought Design Originals.
Yep.
And I stayed
Right.
with them for a few years. And just to give a plug to Zentangle, ladies, I actually believe that it was Zentangle that ushered in the adult coloring craze.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I
Yeah.
do.
And it
because
was it was great to watch that development from people saying, what is Zentangle, to, oh, I doodle, to just that practice. And I think that wellness is such a common theme now, especially after we've had this bout with COVID and people have been away from each other. And so that Zentangle and that wellness part of it, I think, has been really interesting, which is what so many people that say they aren't artists or aren't creative, they do color in a color book and they love it.
and if they doodle,
Yes.
when they're talking on the phone or they're doing something, 'cause I mean, I'm always doodling.
Well, me too. And that's why I thought, oh my gosh, Zentangle is for me, because I was like the kind of person that if I was like on the phone, I don't care if it was my electric bill or what, I would look down and it's like, I have written all over this bill. I was the kind of person that would be in a meeting and realize I had done it. And then about the time, when Zentangle was developed by Rick and Maria, was about the time that they were doing a lot more studies on brain and how your brain works. And they've actually discovered that people that doodle retain more. If it's a student in a class, if you actually retain more, where it looks to everyone else that you're retaining less, that is not true.
Yeah, because they think you're just in another zone.
Yeah, La La Land or something.
Just drawing pictures. But
it is helping.
It helps me concentrate.
It does. So that was a real joy to work and, to get to know the people at Fox Chapel, to know Suzanne so well, and just to be, because a lot of the guys that were at CHA, like Tim Holtz, I mean, I remember watching Tim and Suzanne and on Carol Duvall.
I know.
So yes, I kind of go way back, you guys.
No, I love it all because yes, I know Carol Duvall, Aline Jackson,
Yes.
And for those of you who are watching who don't know who Suzanne McNeil is, she was the founder of Design Originals, and they did maybe 18 to 52 page booklets, how-to booklets.
Yes, she started out doing how-to with a little panda on it.
Yep. And I mean, I have dozens.
I do too.
Of her books here.
Yeah.
So I was even in a couple. So
actually, you were in, when I did Stash and Smash with Design.
Yes, I was in yours.
One of your projects is in there. Yes.
Yep.
I didn't know that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of a recycle. That's another thing I like to do is recycle. And I've kind of been on the forefront of people starting to be, reusing materials as art materials. Was fun. That's kind of what that book was about, just using old envelopes. And I think you'd use some game boards and just different things like that. So that was fun.
Yep. I used my magazine technique, Lisa, for my magazine purse, but I did a booklet because that's what Suzanne wanted. She had come by back in those days. We, as designers, we had tables set up and manufacturers and publishers would come around and then they'd talk to you if they were interested in something. And she saw my magazine purse, but she wanted it transformed and done into a booklet for Smash and
Stash and Smash.
Yeah. And so that's what I did.
Oh.
You always want to be able to adjust to what people are asking for.
Yep.
Yes.
Very important. Rebecca
says that she won some of the Design Original booklets. So
from the Carol Duvall show?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Becca. Hi, Sylvia.
Well, there were a lot of them. I still run across some that are just so like how to fold a dollar bill.
I know.
But they come in handy. The other day, I have
They
opened
do.
a new art gallery and shop. And the other day, someone came in and it was graduation. It's like, do you know how to fold a dollar bill? And I'm like, no, but I have a book that tells you. So
See,
always
it's
comes
not
back.
always what we know; it's who we know and
Yeah,
where
exactly.
we can find it, right?
Right.
Exactly.
So from there, okay, so you were with Design Originals and then Fox Chapel, and then did you go out onto your own into because you're in a gallery now or it's art shots.
Art
Mhm.
shots, yes. Yes, in February of this year, I had my grand opening for a small little space here in Hurst, Texas. And it is a consignment for local artists and arts, and I do a lot of workshops. But, to get back to what happened after Design Originals, well, Suzanne sold that. She opened a gallery in Arlington, and we, I started teaching there, and then I had come and taught once or twice with you guys,
You
once in
did, yeah.
Minnesota.
Mhm.
Yes, yes.
Cindy was at our
Telecom.
events for Bellicross Publishing,
Right.
Mhm.
and we were planning one the year of COVID.
Yeah.
No, I
So
know.
it has been postponed
I knew
tremendously.
that it had. That's a
But
shame.
we hope to be able to do it again.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful venue. And again, you guys had so many different wonderful people there. So,
Mm-hmm.
and again, just learning and then wanting to bring that to my own community and realizing after COVID that how much creativity helped me. And how many
yeah.
times, like when you're teaching Zentangle, the first thing people will say is, I can't draw a straight line. But every time I've taught it, they're all happy with what they've drawn. So,
See?
yes, their motto is anything is possible one stroke at a time. And that's just what I would like to convey to my community. And I'm not sure if you
I
guys know
love
this.
that.
Yes, but
Cool.
bringing art to the community, I actually have served on our city council now. I'm on the third term. And decided that I wanted to. We have a local community theater here in Hurst, and it's an older area and needed some revitalization. And so we started doing some art things, and that's pretty much what I'm committed to now is just spreading the word about how creativity is something that we all have in common, and that we should
Right.
really, nurture it and help other people nurture it.
Well,
Yeah.
and we can attest to that through Lisa's Crohn's,
Right.
how
Yes.
much it helps her. I mean, it does. It just, I think, like, okay, so I've been
It's kept
teaching.
me alive
Huh?
all this. It's one of those things that's kept me alive all this time.
Right.
Was
Right.
And
being
I've been
creative.
teaching crafts classes for, more than 20 years. So, but right here in my own small town, there was a group that we used to meet at the church and then the school. And finally, I just brought them into my home. And the one lady, she couldn't tie a bow. She couldn't do, there were so many things she couldn't do. By the end, she was the first one done. She knew how to do it all. And it's so rewarding to see your students just,
Yes.
because it is so good for them.
Well, it's not only rewarding, but I mean, that again, you learn from them. And
Yes.
just to have that common bond and to just, right now I've got another group of artists. I have a group called Art Matters where
Oh,
we all get together and, we encourage each other. We may learn something about we've had an accountant there before. I mean, I know that you don't think of accounting as being creative, but
you got to know your numbers.
you do. So, and that's just been a real thrill to learn from everybody else that even if they don't do the same medium that I'm doing at the time, there's always something fun. We have people that do resin and still collage and just a whole range of things. And I think that we work together really well. I encourage that for anybody in the community to just start a creative group.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I had one for many years. And I mean, I have a town of like 250 people. but we went to the towns beyond, and there
Uh-huh.
was a group of of us, and we were called the Altered Ladies. We did
Oh,
mixed
I like that.
media,
I
and
remember
we
that.
would meet at somebody else's house each month. Where, you know, like if it was at my house, I would prepare the craft we were going to do, and I would prepare the main meal, and everybody else would bring. One would bring desserts, one would bring bread, you know, whatever. And we did that, for like 5 or 6 years, you know. So it's important to connect, and if you can find anybody, you know, just put a post out there.
Yeah.
You know, looking to connect with others creatively, you know, because groups are fabulous.
Well,
Yeah.
last Saturday in the studio, one of the things I'm beginning is to have some working live artists. And that was
Ooh,
fun. So
Oh,
people came
nice.
in and they were able to see it. And then those artists may have a class that is coming up so that they can take from them. And then in the evening, now another reason it's called, you know, Art Shots is the name because it is a teeny tiny little studio. But it also is just for like a pop of creativity or just, you know, little spurts of creativity. But I also serve Jello shots. So,
Love
so,
yeah, I knew it was shot
crafting.
your name.
so on Saturdays after the working artist, we invite people to come in and just kind of a salon atmosphere, you know, have a glass of wine, a glass of water, a snack, a Jello shot, just, you know, inviting the whole community in and as many artists as we can. So that's been real fun too.
That is wonderful. And okay, so where in Texas are you? Hurst, but where is that?
Hurst is in the DFW Metroplex. It's between
Okay.
Dallas and Fort Worth.
Okay.
In
Mm.
fact, Hurst is part of what HEB, Hurst Euless Bedford. So it's just a little mid cities area that, you know, we kind of work together. And so anything that's arty here in Hurst, you know, we can share. In fact, next weekend in Bedford, they're having an immersive art show, which sounds really cool. You know, I don't know if you guys um, have been to any of those, but where they will showcase some of the artwork on projectors and just kind of fill the whole space with art. And then they're asking for art vendors. So, and that's in one of the little towns here, but right between Dallas and Fort Worth. So we get
Well, I come through there or have the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
And usually I stay at Julie McGuffey's house.
Mm-hmm.
And she lives right outside of Fort Worth. So I'll have to check it out next time we come.
Yes, please
Yeah, I'll
do.
let you know.
That'll be fun.
Because it would be fun to, you know, I'm always looking for fun places to go hang out.
Well, and I'm always looking for people that will come in and teach us something.
Oh, see, yeah. See, it is a
Right.
win-win.
It is. They win.
Because yes, I am so looking forward to getting out and teaching again.
Have you been teaching
You-
lately?
See what Sylvia
Not, huh?
what Sylvia said when we were talking about this. She said, after retiring, I was very lonely. So pre-pandemic, I offered craft workshops, hoping to restart soon.
Mhm.
Okay. I also have a Facebook craft group. I love to stay connected.
It's so
So-
important. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. I have not been travel teaching for 2 years now
Mm.
because of, you know, but
Yeah.
it is my goal for 2023. to get
Well,
out there.
again, I think that people are really ready for that. When I
Oh, they
opened the
are.
spot, I had a lot of different art forms and things like that, and I've just recently kind of redone it to make more space for tables and chairs
Mhm.
because people seem to be more interested in the workshops.
Oh, they love it. And it's so much fun to just be with other people and see them creating. You know,
Learning.
because it's true. I learn from all of my students. I don't care, you
Always.
know,
Yeah.
they might do something just a little bit different, and it can be something that sparks something like, oh my gosh, and
Hmm.
what you can do with it.
Absolutely. Right.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Rebecca says that wasn't a very subtle hint, was it? For me to go and teach? No,
Yes.
maybe.
Yes.
But-
Yes.
But it is the perfect thing to do.
Yeah. You would love that.
Well, I know that we've all missed it. So do you plan on having another Bella
Um,
Crafts you said at the same place? It seems like you said
um,
something about a different venue.
it won't be at the same place because the last two events we had were at Mall of America.
Uh-huh.
And while it's wonderful and the venue they give us is great, when people's workshops are over, they scatter too much. And I think having it at a hotel or an event center, people would, well, where are they going to go? But I mean,
Yeah.
they would have more time to connect and visit and, you know, grow those friendships.
That's a good point.
You know, rather than, oh my gosh, I'm at Mall of America. I want to go
I'm
to
shopping.
this store I've never seen. You know, but it'll be close enough to Mall of America that you can hop on a shuttle and go to the mall if you want.
Side trip.
Yeah. But I'm thinking I would like it more contained just so that people can really have a better time. You know, they can get to know the teachers more. They can, you know, because everybody kind of stays there and mingles.
I think it would be more intimate.
So, yeah. And so I am looking at fall of 2023.
Well, good.
Yeah, because I miss it. And that's what I love. Just workshops and events. I love events. I love giveaways. Who doesn't love swag?
Oh,
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
and we had so much
We
of it. Those
did.
events. Oh Lord. I
Yes,
remember.
we have very generous sponsors.
Yes, we did. Amy
So yes, Cindy,
Holland,
we would have you come and teach.
I'd love
of
that.
course.
Yes.
Amy Holland says, friend Lisa and I enjoy Cindy's Exploring Zentangle once a month.
Oh, thank you, Amy.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've got to come up with what we're going to explore next month.
I know it's
Well-
kind of like I think sometimes people don't know how much preparation it takes to teach a class.
Oh, jeez.
You know, because
It's a lot.
to make it look easy, like I said, I have two of my grandchildren. Okay, so last night I had a new grandbaby born.
Yes.
Oh.
Yay.
So it's number 16.
Oh my gosh.
And I have two here staying the week with me. And they couldn't wait for their parents to leave so they could craft. And Jackson says to me on Monday, you should really teach art in school. You need to be an art teacher. You know, it's like, yes, it's kind of what I do, not in
Yeah.
school.
I've had my grandkids say that to me as well, but
Mhm.
I think my curriculum may be a little off of theirs, so I don't know.
Well, I kind of bring things down to their level. I mean, you know,
Right.
like I'm like, okay, this is something you guys can do. Like today we made bunnies. Yesterday, okay, so they each made giant wreaths with their names on them and bookmarks, and we're just finding all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
But
That's the
yeah,
kind of stuff I like to do. I actually looked into teaching in school for one of my granddaughters, and they wanted you to do a certain thing.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like that wasn't the creative thing that I like to do.
right,
So-
and you have to enjoy it to teach it, I think.
But you're right about teaching. You know, when I was teaching so frequently, I realized that whenever I was out in the studio, everything I did was like, how can I teach that? And then I
Mhm.
sort of got away from it when I wasn't teaching as much. And like I said, going on the city council and doing some other things like that. And now that I've got this this venue where I could teach, it's like, oh my gosh. You know, I've got to get the materials together again. I've got to start thinking like that again. And I'm
Wow.
getting better at it. So thank you, Amy. I'm glad you enjoy exploring Zentangle.
I know, right? And Maria says, I've been doing Zentangle art since COVID started. And Maria, I have seen some of your work and
Yep.
it is fabulous. I know
Yeah.
it's very relaxing for her.
Yeah. Maria
So
is
yeah.
she's a very talented artist.
Well, it's amazing how intricate some people are with their mark making, and how detailed that it is. I'm more of a well, I think that's why experimental mixed media fits in with me better, because I'm more of a just slap it down, see what happens when I do this. But some people can just become so focused on just those tiny little line patterns that I've just seen so many intricate pieces of
They're so beautiful, but
they are. I'm more freeform.
yeah.
So Lisa, do you do Zentangle at all?
No, no.
Okay.
I don't have.
I don't either. I doodle.
I don't have the patience for that. It's I don't do it. But I always say too, I'm one of those people that I don't consider myself so much an artist, because I always say, for me, drawing a stick figure, that's what I can do. I can draw a stick figure. After that, forget it. I'm not, you know. And that was one of the reasons why I started stamping so many years ago, because I do have, a creative side that, that I love, and I love to be creative, but I wanted to do something different. So when I first saw rubber stamping, I was like, okay, this is perfect for me, because now I can take this image and I can turn it into something extremely beautiful that means something to me. And so that's why I started. It's probably been 30 years now since I started stamping.
Notice I say 20 plus.
Yeah,
she
20.
Admits 30. No.
Yeah, don't do the 3-0 yet.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Well, that was another thing.
All right, everybody just skip that last part. I did not say 30.
You did not say 30. But that's a good point, Lisa, because that is sometimes hard to know what to call ourselves.
Yeah.
So when I talk to people, it's more like artists, artisans, makers, and creatives.
Yep.
Right.
And I think that creatives may just be the best term that people don't want to. If you say they're an artist, they're like, oh no, I'm not an artist. And yet, I don't mean like some fine artist. I just actually really do mean creative. So I think that term is becoming more frequently used instead of artists, that we're creatives.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I always say we work in the creative industries.
Right.
Because that's what it is. I mean, it can be so many things. And we wear many hats trying to figure out what we are. But then on top of that, we're photographers. We're social media people.
Are we?
You have to be, well, some of us, no. Some are learning, or some need to learn. But no, you have to know so much anymore. I mean, back in the day, you made the project, wrote the instructions, typed up on a typewriter.
Yep.
Or maybe but even on a computer, I never sent the file. I would send the hard copy to a magazine or to a book publisher. And then they took care of it. They took the pictures, they formatted it, they did everything.
Yeah, edited. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I liked the term designer when SCD was around, and that's what we were pretty much calling ourselves back then. Now it's more like creatives, or makers. I know makers is the hot new term, that we can refer to, but I really liked that because I felt like it didn't put us all in one little box, because being a designer means so many different things. You can be a designer as a mixed media artist. You can be a designer as a rubber stamper, as a sewer, so I really liked that term when we first started using it. And now we've kind of gotten away from it. And now we're doing the creative, which I agree, Cindy, I think it's more appropriate for what we do.
Yeah.
It's all about being creative and doing what we do and teaching others and learning from others. And, it's just always such a good time. for
Well,
me.
and I think it encompasses so much more as well. Having opened my own little small business that is an art business, but becoming so acquainted with other small businesses or micro businesses. There's another
Mhm.
term that we're coming now, micro businesses. And all entrepreneurs have to be creative. They have to be creative thinkers.
Mhm.
So encouraging micro businesses and small businesses to call themselves creatives. And what I have found here in my little area is how exciting it is that so many are women. So many of the
Right.
people that have opened creative businesses. We've got a couple here in Hearst that I work very closely with, Smart Parts Crafts and Cali Pop Vinyl. And actually, I will tell you this, two doors down is a French pastry chef. So I have and that is she is a very much a creative. In fact, too creative, those French pastries. But just
Yeah.
encouraging everyone to think about, themselves being a creative person.
I do feel like we all have some creativity in us. I think it's
Mhm.
just nurturing it, and I know a lot of us that work in the industry, we say that all the time. And, I've gotten feedback before where, people will say, well, you can say that because you are creative. And be like, okay, well, I wasn't born this way. I didn't come out creative. It was something that I learned and I nurtured. So I think that's
Were
what a lot
you,
think.
did you have a mom or a grandmother that were very creative, or
Yes. Yes.
it's
Both my
nice to
mom,
have
my
someone
grandma,
that
my
is,
great grandma. Yeah. My mom was
Mhm.
my mom was extremely crafty. I mean, that woman could make something out of, you know,
Nothing.
twig. I mean,
exactly.
she was amazing, and that's how I grew up. So, but again, it's not something that you're born with. It's something that, that's in there. You just have to nurture.
You cultivate it.
It
You
helps if
cultivate
you
that.
like
Right.
it too, though.
Mhm.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, you
Yeah,
have
yeah,
to
yeah.
enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah,
So,
that's
yeah.
very
Well,
true.
speaking of moms and grandmothers, that's one of the reasons why I think reusing and recycling are such I'm so interested in that aspect of it because I grew up that way. My grandparents had
Mhm.
farms, and I've still got an old chair that my grandmother covered in a feed sack. So
Yeah.
See?
they were very resourceful, and I really like that. You making use of things. So
Yeah. I'm
It's
telling you,
important.
my
Yeah.
mom could make something out of a twig, and I would just be like, wow, when I was a kid. And then, she taught me growing up. But yeah, it's just nurturing it and cultivating it, like you said.
Yep. Yep.
And I think that's very important for communities. So, but you
It
said you
is.
live in a town of 250 in?
I do. I'm on the city council too.
Oh,
Although there's nothing.
that's
Yeah. I
wonderful.
I am. It's I think 249 is our but it was a great place to bring up my kids.
Yes.
You
Well,
know? I mean,
Hearst just hit 40,000. So we're still we're smaller than Fort Worth is like a million, and it's just right down the street. But Hearst still has a small town feel.
small town. Okay, so like mine is 250 and then like Glenwood is maybe about 1200 and then Alec where there's a Joann's is about 20 miles away and they're at about maybe 1500. I mean it triples in the summer
Oh
because of
my
all the
goodness.
lakes, you
Wow.
know.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, small town. It was a great place to bring up my 5 kids. So, and my grandkids love it here when they come. They're like, "Why can't we live here?"
Well, I have
Well, I
12
don't know.
kids, and
Huh?
I said I have 12 grandkids, kind of a little dysfunctional family here
Congrats.
and there, but they have all grown up with me in the studio, and
See,
they would
right.
call our home Camp Shepherd because we would just,
Shepherd.
do creative things. And you know what? The other thing is, I'm sure you know
Love them.
this, Anne, you learn so much about people and about your grandkids when you are creating with them.
Oh my.
Things it's like I didn't even need to know that, but that's because creativity puts you in that that flow, you feel so much, it's just an ease of being
Right.
that I think that we all need. And so it's wonderful for children.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
all of my kids, I taught all of my kids how to sew, even the boys.
Yep.
I had 3 boys, 2 girls. They all made pants and pajamas, and they all learned how to sew because it was that important to me.
Right.
And my grandkids, I would say half of them have sewn with me. They all craft with me, but half of them have learned to sew just
Yeah.
because it's that important. And they don't teach it in school anymore. They don't teach.
No
No
home
home
ec.
ec.
So sad.
Right.
No home ec. I know I had my youngest granddaughter here for the weekend, and we had an absolute blast. And we do a lot of crafting. And this weekend, though, I kind of switched it up on her and said, okay, we're not going to be doing rubber stamping because I want you to learn something new. So we made, you said bunnies, Anne. That's why I kind of giggled, because we made bunnies where we stuffed them and sewed them. And, and I'm not a big sewer. I know enough to slide by, but, I thought it was, yeah, I thought it was important to, that she needs to learn that, because I know her mom teaches her a little bit, but my daughter is, she's got so much going on. Half the time, I don't even think she knows where she is. So, she's going to.
Well, that is true. And I just think learning some of the old crafts like that.
Yeah.
Whether it's embroidery or just kind of, do you guys think that those are getting a comeback a little bit with some of the younger people?
I do believe stitching is, because even when I was showing the kids some of the stuff that we could do, what do you want to do? We can do this, and they both wanted to stitch. One is 11 and one is 8. And even like Sizzix and Spellbinders are doing dies that have the holes for stitching.
Stitching, yeah.
And embroidery.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you can't do it on your own, I mean, even if you have a kit or a pattern or, so I think is coming back.
Yeah. I think needlework, and I think crocheting is coming back. I just recently started crocheting, which, I did as a child. My grandma taught me as a child. And, that was, well, we're not going to talk about how long ago that was, but,
25 years.
Yeah, that sounds good. We'll go with 25. But I just, I didn't remember anything. So I picked up one of those looms that has the little pegs in it. And I wonder if this would be, so now I'm looming.
See? And she enjoys it. She tells me how much fun she's having.
Yeah.
Bonnie says, I've seen a lot of stitching cards lately. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, they are out there, and that's what people are doing. And I'm glad because it's another dimension, right? I mean, So what kind of classes do you teach, Cindy, right now?
Well,
or plan on?
I still love to make books and journals, art journals. And so I have learned so much about stitching, from the simpler pamphlet stitch. And I have a friend that buys boxes off of eBay for years. In fact, they just dropped another box off today, and it's like old cards, old greeting cards and things like that. And she'll take what she wants and then give them to me. And she does this because she knows I cannot throw things away. So I've used them in collages. I've used them for various things. But the best thing about it is I will have just a little pop-up class here and say, come in and make your own little book out of old cards. And it's actually hilarious, because some of these cards are so, I get a lot of mother daughters, and the daughters are like, here's an old television or an old telephone. And it's like, what is that?
I know, right?
you get to share that. I mean, that's a really, so I do a lot of that. And then, of course, Zentangle. And I have other people. I have a wonderful woman that is a glass painter. And so we've had glass painting classes. And
nice.
Then one of my friends, I actually call her Laura Bob, because she is the Bob Ross of Hearst.
I love that.
Yeah, she could paint just about anything. So we right now the big thing here is chickens. So I don't know about you guys, but chickens.
They come back.
Yeah,
Because my sister collected them for a long time.
chickens and roosters.
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
and
Yeah,
so,
they're coming back in style
I'm
again.
going to show you real quick one of the things. This is the bags that we painted with Laura Bob.
Oh my gosh, those are
Oh,
adorable.
that is
Isn't that
so
Okay, so I
cute.
might need to come take a class.
So I
How
think
cute
this
is
is the
that?
one I did, but she taught us to make chickens, and my
That's
chickens
so
look
cute.
half plucked, and I'm like, that's fine because that is my life. So, so we just, not only do I teach, but it gives an opportunity for other people to teach as well. But mine are mostly collage. I still love collage because I do love hoarding all of the old collecting things. And
I'm going to excuse myself for 1 second.
Okay.
My son, who just had the baby, just showed up, so I'll be right back.
Okay.
You guys continue.
We will carry on.
No, but the other thing is that so many people really like having chickens now. I've got friends that have 10, 20 chickens. So is that a big thing where you are, Lisa?
No, because I'm in the high desert. I live in California, and I'm in the high desert where I don't think chickens would do well up here. I don't know because
we're having some chicken issues in Texas as well. Our heat is 100.
Yeah, we're in triple digit. We've been in triple digits now for a week and a half.
So have we. Yes.
But there are some towns close to me. I don't live in a small town. I live in a big one, and there are a couple towns closer to me that are considered more further out. Where people do have horses and chickens and stuff like that. Even up here in this heat, but where I live, I don't know anybody that does it.
Well, that is the trend for us. So it has been fun because you can make the chickens look as startled as you would like, depending on what.
Right.
Their eyes. So
right.
Great.
Yeah. Now, see, I remember a few years ago, roosters and chickens were just so hot, and then it kind of went away. But now I'm seeing it again. So I'm seeing them, resurface again as maybe a new trend. I don't know. Trends.
Everything circles back.
Trends. It does.
It does.
Like I said, I think the trend now is really centered on the wellness aspect. Just wondering how that could, other than teaching workshops and that creativity, just, I don't know, design yoga mats.
Well, like I said, the schools, they're not doing any of it. And I think that's really bad for the kids.
Yeah.
That's
always been a big point for me because of my health, and I don't talk about it a lot because I just don't, but I do tell people, that it is something that keeps me going. It keeps me out of my head, when I'm being creative, and especially when you're not feeling good, when you're, people that have chronic diseases like I do, when you're having, rough days or whatever, if I can just sit and just be a little bit creative, I can get out of my head of, like, oh, I'm sick again, because we get like that sometimes. And that really, really helps. So the whole wellness thing for me has always been very, very important. I've written articles on it for different places about the importance of being creative, if you have health issues. And I just think that, especially after what we're coming away from, with the COVID, I mean, it's still going on. My son and daughter-in-law now have it. So, it's still going on, but I think, maybe we're seeing the tail end of it to where we can do more and be more, get out there and be creative.
Exactly.
And, and join classes and things like that I think are so important.
Well, what you're saying about taking your mind off of even how you're feeling, they call it being in the flow.
Yeah.
That is what you get into when you just really sit down and spend some time with your art and your creativity.
Yeah. It's done wonders for me through the years, and Anne knows because well, we've been working together for ever.
The magazine for 10 years, but we've known each other for 20 plus. Well, Scott,
Yeah, so
Many.
so she knows, she's experienced a lot of that with me. She's gone through the highs and lows with me. So, and she knows, it's very important to me to, let people know that even if you do have health issues, you can still be creative and, get out of your own head for a while. Because people with chronic illnesses can get inside their heads for all the wrong reasons. Like I said, just like feeling sorry for yourself and stuff like that because you have a chronic disease, and you just can't be like that, because
it gives you something else to focus on.
Exactly.
Yeah, and there's so many other negative things going on. I mean, like we were talking about the weather. Yeah. The heat is just really,
it's horrid.
Right. It's exhausting.
It is. Mm-hmm. It is. I think I hate the heat worse than I do my illness at this point, because I feel like I can't get away from it.
I can't say anything because I love the heat, but
you wouldn't like it if it was triple digits.
Well, how hot is it, Anne?
Here it's not.
Oh, see, here it's like 110.
Right. We had a couple days that were 100 and stuff, and it was too hot to even go on the boat or the bike. But
see, 100.
It's cold so bad.
100.
But you would hate the negative 40.
Oh, I would definitely hate the negative 40. Yes, very much so.
See, when I have to pick and choose, I take the heat because I can always make myself cool. You can, once you're cold, you cannot warm up. I mean, if your toes are frozen, you are frozen. It takes forever to warm up. If you're chilled, you are chilled to the bone. And that is, I mean, at least the heat to me, I can go swimming. There's things I can do to cool off. I know if it's incessant like you guys, I know.
When you walk outside and it takes your breath away as soon as you walk out the door.
Rebecca would rather be hot than cold too. Right. I remember when we lived in Oklahoma for a few years. I'd be all dressed for work. I'd come outside, walk to the car. I'd be drenched. That's how humid it was. It's kind of like.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we don't have the humidity, thank God. So, that's always a good thing. But I don't know.
Cindy, the art behind you, is that all stuff you've done, or where are you?
Let's see. Where am I? No, a lot of that is just, I do have some of my art, but not knowing which direction to go.
I know. It's opposite. You think you're going to go to the right, you go to the left on this camera for some strange reason, ladies.
Yep, I don't know.
So you see, I have actually this art here, the owl, and I also do a lot of work with nonprofits.
Beautiful.
Oh. That is a nonprofit group that called the Usual Art Specs, and they are they're giving wellness art classes pretty recently. It's a group that helps take care of women that are survivors of sexual abuse.
Oh.
And then some of the other nonprofits in the area that we're working with is we're going to start doing some murals.
Oh, nice.
Just, some things like that. So again, just that connection with, art, with entrepreneurs, with nonprofits. I think everybody is kind of on the same page, and it's good to see them all come together.
Yeah.
So I have been doing. Let's see.
And I like the idea of nonprofits because even for our Bella Crafts, our last event, I invited the Ronald McDonald House people that were using their services at the time to come in and create, and they were given free classes. They didn't have to pay, just because it's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
that's
I
another good venue for crafters and artists to get together with some of the nonprofits.
Yeah, it is. Or make cards and send them to the nonprofits, or
I
yeah,
just made a whole lot of centerpieces for my sister-in-law's nonprofit
she did.
this last week. So yeah, she was doing a huge event. She rescues dogs and cats.
I was
Oh.
going to say animals.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I got my head got stuck. It's like, okay, little brain fade there. So yeah, she had a big event this weekend, and I made all the centerpieces for that. So it's always nice to give back.
Oh yeah.
That's when
Did you go with a dog and cat theme, or were they just pretty?
No, actually, this time, because I've done centerpieces and stuff for her before, but this time they were doing a casino night for some of their sponsors. So she had this big casino night theme. And so I made centerpieces around poker chips and cards
Oh, that's fun.
and then what I did was I took one of the wire stands for photo holders, and we printed out pictures of dogs that need to be rescued or dogs that need to be adopted. And I put those inside the centerpieces. So I kind of mixed it up a little bit for her. So it wasn't all just casino themed. So it was fun to do, though.
How fun and how creative.
But although I bawled my eyes out when she sent me the pictures of these dogs, and I told my husband, I said, this is the reason why I cannot do this work.
I can't do it either. In fact, that commercial that's on television.
Yes, I bawled
another one, but I have to pause. I just cannot do it.
Yep. So. I cried and I told my husband, this dog has been in a shelter for 2 years now. And he's like, we have 2 dogs. We got enough. Because yeah, I would bring them all home.
Me too.
But she does amazing work. So I'm like, I'm in awe of her. Because I couldn't do it.
Thanks, Bonnie. We'll see you later.
Nope.
Bonnie said that she loves fall and winter in Illinois. And hibernates on snow days.
Yeah. Okay, well, it has been an awesome time. Cindy, is there anything else you want to chat with us about?
No, it's just great to see you guys.
I know.
Thank
you
you
too.
so much for inviting me.
I haven't seen you since 2015.
Oh, I bet my hair was pink.
It was.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. I had to think about that.
But that was a good year, ladies. So.
But that was an awesome head of pink hair, I'll tell you right now.
Well, pink is a little bit hard to keep. If it stayed bright pink all the time, but when it starts getting that dusty pink, I'm like, no.
Yeah, I did blue in mine for a while, and
I remember that.
Yeah, Anne was like, "You're insane." I said, "Yeah, I know, but
not that you were insane." It kind of bled into the rest of the hair, so it wasn't what she had envisioned.
It's more difficult, just like teaching is more difficult.
Yes.
Having nice looking colors in your hair that are vibrant and rich.
Yeah, it was
not really that easy.
Nope. That's why I was like, okay, no, I'm done. I went through my little phase. I'm done now. I'll leave it to the experts.
Well, you guys come to see me sometime in Texas. I'd love to have you at Art Shots. So
we would love that.
Yeah.
For right now, we're going to say goodbye to our viewers, and we're going to announce the winner of last week. We usually do a giveaway every single week. And if they like, share, and comment this video, we will announce a winner next week for one of our ebooks.
Yes.
But last week's winner, Lisa, you want to announce it?
And I didn't see,
I didn't see her here.
I didn't see her, so I'm going to have to contact her. Jimmy won Anne's papers from last week.
Yes.
So congratulations, Jimmy.
Yes.
I'll be in touch with you so Anne can send those out to you. Okay. So I'll get in contact with her.
And if you would all make sure and join us next week at noon and 2:00 Central Time, we will be back with 2 more lives. Lisa and I will both be creating a project. And it's with some new paint. Beautiful, beautiful paint that you're going to love. So make sure you come back next week, and we will see you all then. And as we always close, remember,
take a little time to craft because it's good for your soul.
Always.
It really is. All
Yes.
right, you guys take care. We'll see you all next week.